Hello, beloveds, and welcome back to another episode of Why Is That?, where we look at a number of controversial topics of our age. The topic we'll be looking at today is, there's been a lot of military interventions in the Middle East, and that's had dire ramifications for a lot of cultures there. Today we'll be talking with Fr Douglas AL-BAZI from the Chaldean Catholic Church about life in Iraq before and after the invasions. Brother Father.
Thank you very much to this meeting, and let me just going in briefly actually before and after, as you mentioned, and I want to tell the people that, you know, there are different situations we are talking about, Iraq in general and particular to the minorities. So as a Christian, even we are the original people, but we are still minority there, and or became actually minority after. In any case, before in 2003, that's been before American with the last war. In my country, actually, there are a lot of wars. So let's say when we say the last one, that's been we are talking about 2003. And before the 2003, how was the minorities actually? All Iraq, we were at least secure. I'm not was a big fan with the ex-regime, talk about Saddam, but at least if we compare that time with this time, I can say that that time was golden time if we compare it with now. Of course, you know, it's not easy to say invasion or freedom, you know, because that word in Iraq that time, after 2003, you will be killed for that if you're using mistake that word. For example, if you are going to pronounce as a word like invasion, so they will tell why it's invasion. So you are against American, you are against the democracy, you are against la 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 la. So you will be in problem. And of course, if you said no, this is a freedom operation, you know, and you will be killed by another people, they will say why you are saying that. This is so you can see. But the minority, especially Christian, we've been always between two fire. During Saddam, I'm talking about that during Saddam, that one I call it a golden time. But during Saddam, even to Christian, we were not able to, for example, in our ID, it was not, it was forbidden to us to written, where's the section of religion? It was written, forbidden to us to write religion as a Christian. They were just written like non-Muslim. Even it was forbidden to us as a Christian when we got a newborn and new babies. It's forbidden to call them, to give them like Christian names or let's say names they are not Muslim or Arab. For example, like Antonio, Simon, all those names are forbidden. We have just to call it as Muslim name or give name as Arab names. In any case, that time you can see almost all boys and girls being called as Joseph and Mary, in Arabic Yusuf and Maryam.
So does that also extend to even Muslims like the Kurds, where their culture was also?
Since 1991, the Kurd actually, they were, you know, separated by American, because the war, the Arab Gulf War, make the Kurds, they are under control the UN, so they were away, or let's say separated from Iraq. So the military, Iraqi military, and no one actually can get into Kurdistan since 1991. But for all the Iraqi, and when I say Iraqi, we are talking about, there are two things, religion and nationality. So Kurd as ethnic and Iraqi, so they are Iraqi Christian and the Iraqi Muslim, of course. So I can tell what happened. What is actually blew up my country was the war between the Muslim themselves in Iraq. I'm talking about Sunnis and Shi'is. And that actually started after the war, let's say religion war or civilian war. But if you mix it together, this is what happened in my country.
Because religion and politics is quite linked, isn't it? Because the Shiites get support from outside, from Iran, and also the Sunnis also get support from outside, from other nations like Saudi Arabia. So it's just not religion, is it? It's all tied in with politics. And
that's right, yeah. And for Muslim, they cannot actually separate it at all. That's mean political with the religion. That's mean they goes together. Yeah.
And it's just not wasn't Christian groups. There are also sort of non-theistic groups, I understand, like the Yazidis.
Yes, there are many minorities. There are Yazidis. There are also Mindai. There are also Shabak, and there are also Turkmen. So there are many minorities in Iraq. But what happened in 2014, it was really the tragedy being faced by those minorities when the Islamic State, and that's when they call it the ISIS, when they get into Iraq, especially they control Mosul, when they took over Mosul and all the villages. So who's actually living there? Almost the Christian, Yazidis, and Shabak and other groups. So that's why those people, we start hearing about them, because those people, they lost everything in one day.
Now, Mosul is known by another name by your people, isn't it?
Sorry, say that again?
Mosul is known by another name, Nineveh, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the official name and the old name, actually, the ancient name.
And Nineveh was the capital of the Assyrians, and as I understand it, your people identify as Assyrian, and Aramaic is your language.
Actually, we are using the language Aramaic, and this language we are still actually use it till now. When I say till now, that's mean in our Aramaic is my first language, and this language actually been used at least in Iraq 3,000 years. So many people, when they say, "Oh, this is the language of Jesus Christ," I'm always actually make a little bit joke with this. I say, "Look, actually, it was not the language of Jesus Christ, but Jesus was using our language."
So when they had the movie The Passion of the Christ, you guys didn't need the subtitles?
We understood a lot, okay? We understood a lot, because even that language they call it the old language of the Holy Bible, but we understood a lot.
So when we're talking about persecution of Christians, it's also tied in with culture and ethnicity, and so it's just not trying to get rid of a religious group, it is an actual genocide that is happening.
Thank you very much for mentioning that word genocide, because actually this is the only word can actually to be fit what is happening to my people. And just I want to know, those people that are hearing me, we are not talking about just accident happened in 2014 by Islamic State and this is what happened. Actually, what happened, it was before. For example, my people, when I talk about my people, I'm talking about Christian. But when I say here Christian, here I'm not against another religion, but I'm trying to specific talk about, the my group, my people. My people been attacked 8 times at last 100 years. And I'm always saying I'm not surprised when they're attacking my people. I'm surprised how my people they are still exist in Iraq till now. What happened actually to my people in one day, just imagine, in Nineveh, that's mean in Mosul, we were there over 125,000 people, and overnight they force all those people to leave the city. Just imagine 4 dioceses in one day, they disappear. In one day, they destroyed.
So we're talking about thousands of families displaced.
Yeah, because actually before I came here to New Zealand, I was one of in charge a couple of weeks ago, one of those shelter, and we call it center because we are trying to avoid to call it camp much we can. So I remember the first day when they arrived before 2 years ago. Just my town, it's called Ankawa in northern of Iraq, Erbil. We received in one day 75,000 people. Just imagine, 75,000 people, they get into the city. When they get in, imagine if any one of us lost his cell phone, of course he's going to get panic. He will say, oh my God, where is my cell phone, And he will maybe he will begging, please can you call my number? I don't know where is all my life there is in my phone, all my photos, memories, everything. Just imagine my people, they lost everything in one day.
And I think 75,000 people is a number you can't really imagine. Sorry. So, I mean, everyone who was there has been affected by the change in the situation since the invasion, but you've suffered more than most. Can you tell me about some of your experiences?
Look, I'm always actually calling myself I'm the lucky guy, because still I have chance to talk about what I threw out. Many tragic actually moment in my life. For example, I survived twice by real bomb. They blew up my church in front of me, and another time I got shot by AK-47 Kalashnikov, and still the bolt in my leg. And I got shot there in Baghdad, actually. And after that, I'm being kidnapped for 9 days. And in those 9 days, after the mass, I just went, just to visit the friends, and I found myself there being locked by 2 cars, and they were armed. So they took me and they put me in the boot of my car, and I don't know, nowhere. I don't know where we went. And when we arrived, they told me you have to tie your eyes, and otherwise we are going to put the bullet in your head. So they cover my eyes, and they put chain in my hand till 9 days. When I jumped from the car, I just found myself on the ground because one of them, he kicked me by his knee in my face, and he broke my nose. And I found myself, I am with blood everywhere. And in any case, I spent horrible 9 days in my life. The first 4 days without water. The day 5th, they offered to me water. They tied my hand by chains. I used the same chains to pray my rosary. After 6 days, they start negotiated with a priest, telling about, what we can do with this priest. And of course, the church, they were not sure that I'm still alive. And in any case, they let me talk with the priest. And after 1 or 3 questions, actually I was believing that I'm not going back to again. And those people, they are going really to shoot me. And so the priest actually told them, he was really brave, and he told them, okay, look, keep Father Douglas to you. We don't want him anymore. We are going to consider him as one of our martyrs. But that actually made them really mad. And so I remember the day 6, they bring the hammer, and suddenly something hit my face, my mouth, and I found there's a blood and one of the teeth in my mouth. And they told me, don't be worried, we have all night, and you have many teeth. And they hit me again and again and again. And the tough one was when they broke one of my back disc by hammer. So after 9 days, they released me after the church pay amount of money. And I remained in Baghdad after a couple of years.
How long did it take for you to recover from your treatment? Well, physically, I mean, emotionally, it must. Yeah.
I actually tell after 4 years, I was actually because I made many surgery for my nose. When they released me the day after 1 month for my teeth, my face, and after. But my back actually took time. And after that, it was a surgery in German. And in any case, but still I'm not free to do all the movement because of my back, and I cannot sit for a long time. I cannot stand for a long time. But in any case, as I said, I'm lucky. I always look to myself. I'm lucky. Even they destroyed me, but from outside, but from inside, I'm still. I believe I'm still fine.
I remember hearing a testimony of a Iraqi Christian girl who witnessed horrible things as a small child, and attacks on the church and people getting killed, and she was giving her testimony, but she said she was all very hopeful for the future, and because it seems in a lot of Western countries, a lot of people go, "Oh, my life is ruined over very small first world problems."
You have to be grateful to your life. Yeah, I know it's a huge difference between hell and kingdom. In any case, again, I will say that what's happening to my people is really a genocide. And here to be in New Zealand, I know I'm still feel that just my body is here, but still my soul is there. And I am talking with my people, I don't know how many times a day, and we are trying here to bring awareness to what happened in Middle East, especially in Iraq. I know many people, they will say, yeah, but we are really far, we are the farthest country, from the Middle East. But let me tell that still the Middle East who bring the joy to all the world. Middle East to bring all the religions, bring Jesus to the world. So this is Middle East. So we have to be appreciate and take responsible. That's why thank you when you're using the word genocide, because genocides mean we are saying the truth. If we are not called it as a genocide, that means we are giving green light to my people to be attack and attack again. Not just for the Christian, I'm talking also about Yazidis. And also before us, they were the Jewish as well, and being attacked, and they will throw upboard and the country. In any case, we have to take responsibility, and it is not about just say that we are really far from Middle East, so we are safe. It is not about that. I'm always telling, even when I start talking about the genocide, when I went to the UK, the Parliament in Brussels, the European Parliament, the New York, I'm always telling, we have to take the responsibility and don't say that we are really far and we are safe. If not happen, it's going to not happen to you, but maybe for sure it's going to happen to your child.
Because two things came up when I was researching for this program. Looking in what's known as the Assyrian Genocide, which everyone's heard of the Armenian Genocide, but of course it wasn't just the Armenians that were targeted. It was the Armenians, the Assyrians, the Greeks, any small in the old Ottoman Empire, and as you were talking about 8 attacks before. So, we've had in the West, I think we've had problems recognizing these, especially because it's not politically expedient, but also, migrating to countries like New Zealand and other Western countries where, a lot of people, feel a lot of people who immigrate should assimilate, which holds another problem for, your people, because of the heartland is kind of, there's nowhere else to go back to, the homeland. Well, there are, but it's not like it used to be, is it? It's not a cultural center anymore, as I understand.
You know what? Actually, let me put it in this way. I'm talking about the Christian, and I'm sure that Yazidis, they are sharing me the same thing. We are proud. We are Iraqi. We are in love with our country. We love actually our country, and home is home. But my people, what they are looking for hope. They are looking actually. People can survive with, I don't know, with less of lack of food, lack of anything, but they cannot actually survive without hope. So what I'm looking for, to find hope to my people. And to find hope, my people, this is actually make us survival. For example, when we are trying actually here in New Zealand because we have now a project to help to adopt 50 child, those they are special need from those people, they are IDPs, those people, they left Mosul. Just to tell them that we are still stand with you, we are still try to support you. I know it is nothing, but at least we are showing our love, because love, it is not just words, it's action. So we are trying to do the action of the love is how to take care about people. And second, what is actually killing my people and put suffer of my people, it is the rejecting from the international community.
Because I've noticed the US and Canada have accepted very few Christian refugees.
Okay, I don't want actually to go to the numbers, but I'm talking about over 6,000 people. If we count how many Christian and Yazidis among those 6,000, and you will find we are talking about maybe 5 or 2 people. The same thing with the New Zealand. Of course, here the rule here is talking about, we are taking people from UN. And where is those people? They are UN. They will say, okay, those they are. We selected them from the refugee camp. But please, to those people, they are working UN, and those people, they are working in immigration actually office here. I do appreciate and I do respect, but please open your eyes when you go to the camps there in Jordan or Lebanon or Turkey. And they are talking about, we are selecting people, doesn't matter about the religion. Yeah, I know, and I believe and I respect. But do you know that there are 0 Christian in those camps?
Because it's just not safe, is it?
Even the German, recently actually German, they actually separated the refugees because they were, if they are Christian, among they've been persecuted again because he's a Christian. Even the Muslim, they are together in the same camp in Germany. I'm talking about in Germany, when they are together, the Muslim from Afghanistan, he is against the Muslim from Syria, and Syria against the Muslim from Iraq and from Iran, and they are fight to each other. But when they are Christian among them, all of them, they became one, turn against who? The Christian. That's why there are no Christian even in Germany. So they open another camp just for Christian, just for Yazidis, because those cannot survive among the Muslim there. The same thing here, I'm talking about Tunisia. When you please bring people, just to be sure that you are, I'm not actually a doubt with your judgment and who I am to judge your work, but I'm telling you, just open your eyes. And because we have to be, it is not about quantity and quality, but it's about justice. We are a few and we are suffering inside Iraq and outside Iraq. So if you want to give help as immigration office or the other, please be sure that really you are giving help to the right people, or to the deserve, really, those people they deserve. This is my question to those people. They are selecting people. And another thing, if you go again, for example, in Lebanon, when you put the files of those people being registered, for UN, always you will find that the Christian, they are keeping the Christian there, but those they are bad people, just they sent it away in the United States, in Australia, and everywhere. Why? Because those people, they are in government work there. They say, look, much we can keep Christian here. They are good people. They are not violent. They are good for investment. But what we can do with those bad people, let's send them, away. So we know that. But I'm just saying, stop doing that.
In talking about justice, I mean, a lot of people blame the Americans for the invasion, etc., but a whole lot of other countries just stood there, didn't say anything, and let it happen. And now those same countries won't, let in these groups they've unleashed such horrors on, that they just stood back, and I find that quite strange.
When you go to Europe, and I say the same thing, actually, I say that to the European Parliament. I told them, I know that you are looking for to me to say that should blame America to what happened to Iraq. But what is the difference? If America did that, but you as European countries, you've been watching. So you are sharing the same responsibility. Even if you were silent itself is guilty. So that's why when we call it a genocide itself, this is the word, we have to do something. If we are not going to call it a genocide, so it's easy just to say, yeah, we're sorry what happened to Iraq, okay? But genocide, no. Now we have to open the files, and we have to blame, not just the blame, to send the bad people to the court and tell what happened to my people. Because why? For example, why have my people have to suffer like this? Before 2003, as a Christian, we were 1.6 million. Why now we are 180,000? I'm not just blame America. For example, United States, they are going to say, yeah, Jim Carrey, actually, he in last March, he said that what happened to the Christians is a genocide. Yeah, it's just the word. Also, European Parliament says it's a genocide. Yeah, and? So when you say genocide, we have to do two things important. One, give emergency help, relief for people. Those people, they need till now who actually helping us. And let's explain to those people they are actually have the experience with immigration and with refugee. Do you know that when we are inside Iraq, my people, they have no right to recognize it as a refugee because they are inside. They are just IDPs. So according to UN, my people have no right. That means that they will tell us, sorry, we don't have any help to you because you are not refugee. You have to leave Iraq. And that time, registered it to UN, and that time we recognize it as a refugee. So actually, who is taking care about 125,000 plus Yazidis? The church, the Catholic Chaldean Church. And still we are doing that, and we are proud. And this is actually it's the minimum of our duty. It's not for proud, actually. But who help us, all the churches from the wide world, they are helping us, especially the Catholic Church. But what I'm saying here, when we call the genocide, we have to do something. For short term, for long term. For short term, my people need to live with dignity. Do you know that my people, they are still living in caravans. Those people, they don't understand what's mean caravan. It is 3 by 6 meter, one room. For example, till now in my church in Erbil, there are 80 families living inside the church, on the ground outside, property the church there outside, and all those people, they are hundreds. They are using the same showers, the same bathrooms since 2014.
That's a long time. Now we're coming towards the end of the show. If you look at the Why Is That YouTube page, you can find the web extended version where we talk more about the topic. Thank you. Okay, we'll just cut that off. Now we're in the web extended version. So, what do you want people to know? I mean, obviously this is a topic you're passionate about. What haven't we covered already that you'd like people to know?
My people, they are going to be, I hope not, but we are going to finish from Iraq. To those they are not understand, we are Christian from the 1st century. We are not actually convert couple of years ago.
You're the originals, pretty much.
Yes, that's mean if I compare, for example, my church with another churches, we are talking about 2,000 years of Christianity, and it's a shame and pity to lose my home, to lose my country. So what I am begging people here, not for help, but I'm begging for your love to take care about the last stand of my group in Iraq. And we have to take the responsibility. At least my people they will forget and forgive who persecute us, but we are not going to forget those that stand with us, because we are honest people. We keep our honesty to Christ since the first century till now. So if you find words or if you find action to help my people, I believe you can do. So to anyone hearing my voice, don't look to my Father Douglas' story. Look to the people behind my story. They are still suffer, those people, and they need help. So pray for my people, help my people, save my people. If you say how, you will find the answer. Just ask yourself, and you will help.
Because it's just not refugees, is it? There's also Islamic State has enslaved a number of non-Muslim peoples.
Maybe many people, they are going to say, they are going to defeat the Islamic State, and Mosul, when they liberated Mosul, everything is going to be okay. But come on, if we are going to defeat Islamic State, but the problem is still there. And before 2014, who killed the bishop of Mosul, the Chaldean bishop? There were no Islamic State at that time. Who killed the Father Ragid with 4 deacons? Father Ragid was my friend from Mosul. There were no Islamic State. Who killed 5 priests in Iraq? Who kidnapped the 12 priests in Iraq? Who destroyed hundreds churches in Iraq? All those happened before 2014. So now we have Islamic State. But tomorrow we'll have worse than Islamic State. It's the revenge between minorities. It's the revenge between people. Much we have Christian in Iraq. Believe me, I do respect all minorities. But tell me who actually gave the example of forgiveness? No one in Middle East. The only one give the example of forgiveness is just Christian. Middle East, Iraq, without Christian, it means there are no future. Without forgiveness, there are no future. And when I say without forgiveness, we are not silly and crazy people. We are mean it. Because the American, all the international community, they cannot bring safe to my people. But forgiveness can bring safe to my country. Look to American. Since 2003, they are fighting the terrorists. But believe me, if they will let it just that, how was it? It was really better than how it is now. Because that time, at least there were love, respect between people. Now the trust between people completely down.
Because that's a big thing, isn't it? The order was kept, obviously, under dictatorships, but there wasn't the chaos which led to, outbreaks of violence. And I don't think people fully understand, because I look at Iraqi like one nation, where it's obviously it's an ancient land and geographic boundaries, etc., but multiple people. And when the area was colonized by Western powers, they drew maps which just because we were neighbours doesn't mean you got along. And once they pulled out, I mean, this is the case where we see in Libya and Syria and Iraq. You know, it was, they had a lot of hard men in control, but they kept control. And yeah, they're not nation states like places like Morocco or Oman or places like that, are they?
Yeah. Here we have to be careful when we recognize it, you know, and compare. Of course, I'm not actually, me and my people, we are not blessing the dictator, but we have to talk about the mentality over there. How is it? Mentality of Arab people and Muslim, because we are talking about before they were Arab, they were not Muslim, but when became Muslim, so they mix between the culture and the religion. That's why here when we're talking about political and religion, when they mix together. For the Arab and Muslim countries, you know, they don't have that idea of democracy. Democracy is not actually, is still is a teenager stage in my country. So it's not very well knowing. Even when you mention other countries, though there are still, thanks God, there are no war there. But I'm not saying those people they are living in, say, in promising land, okay, or in safe, for example, or in democracy. No. But this is the problem with Arab countries. You cannot actually sheep, or you cannot actually move from dictator to take the dictator. Immediately, if you took the dictator, you will find the sectarism comes behind the dictator. This is what happened in Iraq, because Iraq was not ready to go to the level stage of democracy. So when they took the dictator, Iraq went actually back. What is actually the back of dictator is the sectarism, you know. That sectarism, so that one actually based on what? Based on religion. That's why we have Sunnis and Shiis. And before, even during Saddam, people when they talk, no need to them, for example, to say, you have to obey me because I am Shiis or Sunnis. No. They were talking about, because I'm professor, and you have to listen to me. Because I'm your doctor, you have to do what I... But now in Iraq, actually, no one listens to those. Even if you go to the hospital, the doctor say, please, let me tell you something. If he's in danger and is going to die, don't blame me. Don't kill me. Look, even the doctor, no one actually protect him. Even the professor, he cannot say to any one of the student, oh yeah, with your answer you are not going to pass. And you know the student is going to tell him, do you know who I am? I am son of blah 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 blah, that militia belong to Shiis or Sunnis. Oh, I say, oh yeah, good, you will pass. Which kind of generation we are going to have in the future? So we are not talking about actually destroying building. They are destroying the human. The people being destroyed in Iraq. That's why when I say the forgiveness, I'm not silly, I'm not stupid. Because actually, at least forgiveness, we can tell that even if you are wrong, even if you did something bad, but we can go to the next level. What is the next level? Let's go to live together, not fight together.
Because it's one of the things where a lot of the people who could get out when things were breaking down were people with money who were professionals, etc., which provided a shortage in those countries.
For example, here in New Zealand, our community here, the Chaldean community, you will find from...
So many pharmacists.
So many pharmacists, doctors, you know. So just imagine, country without those actually brilliant people, what country can do? Nothing. And you know, it's a shame now in my country. If you get headache or not, you will say, oh, let's go to do something, you know, like magic or some, you know, silly thing. Okay, instead to take Panadol, for example. Iraq was not there, was not like this before. When I talk Iraq, I'm talking about, for example, in 1970s, we start using solar system. The solar system in 1970. Who was talking about solar system in that time? in 1960, 1950, the first TV actually went to the Iraq. I'm talking about electricity from 1907. Iraq actually start using electricity. Who actually, so many people, they thought Iraq actually they are just like, I don't know, non-educated people. Actually, no. That's why I say that we are proud we are Iraqi. When I say Iraqi, I'm not talking about Christian. I'm talking about the Jewish who actually built the country. I'm talking about the Yazidis, about all of them together. But when you actually target them one by one, so don't ask about Iraq anymore. Ask about parts of Iraq, not as one body.
Because there was a huge cultural heritage in the region, which, like when you see Islamic State, going to the museum and smashing statues, that's just not statues of a dead culture. That's part of the cultural heritage of a lot of groups in Iraq, isn't it?
Yeah, that's actually statues not belong to one group, That's belong to all Iraq. Actually, this is belong to the human history, not just that for Iraq. Nineveh, for example, the first time being attacked, Nineveh was 612 before Christ. Nineveh was the capital, and they destroyed it in 612 before the Christ. The first when the Chaldean actually attack. In my country, I don't know, we like wars. We are always going there and fight each other. But just imagine, we are talking about. Look to the Hammurabi, the King Hammurabi, who created the code, the first law in the world. Hammurabi actually, he wrote the law. For example, even if you cut one of the flowers on one of the plants, you have to pay for that. Just imagine, we are talking about around 3,000 years. There were punishment if you do something bad. And now look to the Iraq. There are no code, there are no law at all.
Because that area of Mesopotamia hugely influenced Judaism, which, when Christianity emerged and influenced the world, that's a huge. That's just not somebody else's random. Mesopotamia played a huge part in shaping the world.
The church here, actually, the Chaldean Church here in New Zealand and Papatui, his name Sant Adde. And who is Sant Adde? Sant Adde, he was one of the St. Thomas disciples. And Sant Adde started proclaim the north of Iraq. I'm talking about the 1st century. And from the 1st century, he established the church named Koche. And Sant Adde, who actually write the first mass, the first, how to celebrate the mass. And after that, the Christianity started to proclaim to the all east side. That's mean I'm talking about China, Tibet, India. So just imagine in India and 10 now they are celebrate the mass, the same. That's mean the same our mass, in the same language. Just imagine before 14th century, before Muslim arrived to Iraq, they were belong to my church. They were belong 70 million Christian, and now we are 180,000.
That's a massive decline.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could explain the difference, as we talked about the identity of being Assyrian. How does that play in with? Do you also consider Arab as well, or I'm a bit vague on what the Arab, what constitute?
Okay, the mother called Aramaic,
mm-hmm.
and that mother Aramaic actually has daughters. So one of the daughters is Arabic, as Hebrew, and Syria. So Syria, there are two paths. They call it Eastern side and Western side. And if we are talking about the language, if we're talking about nation, on religion, so they are different. So, for example, the language we are all of us, we are daughters, granddaughters to the mother Aramaic, but still there's still connect between our language and the grandma. They are still connect. For the religion, all area, I'm talking about 3,000 years. They were the empire, Assyrian Empire. So they were just believing in, they got on their gods, not the only God. But after that, those empire, they select or they adapt one of the language. It was the Aramaic. Why they adapt the Aramaic? It was easy to write and easy to talk. So they took the Aramaic, and day by day, another language like the Sumerian, the others, they did. That empire actually changed after that to the Christianity. And here we are talking about religion issue. But there are no anymore nation. Some people now, if they hear what I'm saying, that they say, no, we are still the same nation. Okay, everyone is actually from Iraq, had a huge history. But in fact, if we look to the area, no one actually connect with the past anymore. The new Iraq is completely different. Why? Because actually Iraq, Mesopotamia, get invaded by many, for Roman, Persian, Arab, Ottoman, after that English, after the Free Iraq, after that another war with Iran, another war with American. This is Iraq. So you can see it is actually mixed till 3,000 years. And tell me where I put my people, I'm always saying, I'm Iraqi, but I'm Christian. I'm never say I'm Christian and I'm Iraqi. Because I believe that we are belong to a land. It's Iraq. What we believe in God. That's why we are Christian.
So, is there any support coming from the refugees in Iraq from the government of Iraq?
Zero.
And what's the reason for that? Or reasons?
If we look over to all Iraq, you can see that Iraq now is separated two parts. Kurdistan is the northern of Iraq, and the south, Baghdad and south. There is another government, a central government, with another, of course, another government is the Islamic State. Okay. In any case, so my people who actually escape from Mosul, they get into Kurdistan. So there are no help actually from the south to the north, because we are talking about different region. And from the government there, the Kurdistan, of course, I have to thank them because they opened the doors to our people. But we cannot forget, even Kurd now, they are fighting with Islamic State, against the Islamic State. So everyone now is he just saying to excuse, he say, for example, we are now during the war, we are fighting Islamic State, so we don't have actually to support others, because we don't have that materials. But who actually stand with us, for example, again, is the church. When I say the church, I'm talking about organization such as Knights of Columbus, A Church in Need, Christian Note, Nutio, the Caritas, and believe me, without those helps, my people, they will not survive all 30 days.
So have the American government given any help or supplies or?
Cooperate with organization, but for example, if I say yes, that means yeah, they are help. But if I ask me which kind of help, I will tell you that once I found, yeah, they bring blanket, some food. So I'm talking about once in 2 years.
So they can say we did something, but not anything.
I'm not talking now an American, but tell me something actually happened. With one of the organization, they bring food, and they were distribute food to people, and suddenly they stop it. Why? Because the camera was not work. So you understand what that mean? Propaganda.
Some companies are renowned for, we gave this amount of product in support. I'm not saying to Iraq, but just in general aid. And sometimes you find it's stuff like chapstick or just the most useless stuff which people who are in desperate need can't use, or it does them no good.
I received over maybe 1,000 organization there, and each one of course came to me with a business card so in my office, but now of course I took it before leaving. I put it, where's my desk, where's my chair, and my bag, I put it there, all the business cards. So I divided them in two parts. I called the right part and to the left. So actually who left, they were to the left, already left. But who they were on the right, they were right. If I count how many they were on the right, I can count them, just there are a few, like 4 or 5. But those actually, do you know we received one time expired tuna. I received one time shampoo and soap for kids, and they were expired at least 1 year. And I told to the guy, how can I give those actually to kids? I say, no, this is chemical, Father, come on, don't be like, I say, look, can you give those actually to your child?
I think what's more telling is it's probably done as a tax write-off more than actual help.
That's right. And because my people, they are in need, that means we have to obey and we have to, to take it. And this is actually never happened. For example, my people were full of dignity. When someone offers any stuff to us, we never look what we are offer. We look to your eyes. You are happy to do that or not? Because we are not going to remember what you are offered to us. We are going to remember your face. In my country, for example, as a Christian, when you give something, it is not like here with the magic word to say, oh, please, thank you. In our culture, if I give you something, you don't have to thank me, because this is my duty to give you. If you tell me thank you, that you are just telling me that I'm doing what I have to do. And this is we are not looking for in my country. So look, there's a difference between culture. So when people comes actually, for example, with that tuna, I told them I cannot receive it. It's expired. And people, they are going to get hurt with this. Say, no, people, they are in need. You father, don't be. People, they are suffering. I told them, look, I spent 13 years in Baghdad during the blockade, that one by American and the international community. And I remember actually we suffered a lot. There were a lot of things. You will not find anything in the shop. It was, embargo, blockade. It was really blockade. But I don't remember that once actually die by hunger. No one. I know we spend many times without dinner. Yes, I remember that very well. But no one actually died by hunger. And we are not going to die by food, lack of food.
It's interesting as you mentioned those sanctions, because that didn't affect the ruling party or Saddam Hussein at all, did it? It's trying to get the people to turn on him by causing them to suffer, which is ethically just horrendous.
Yeah. If you talk with anyone, special, I was watching actually videos and this morning with a guy, and he was talk from Basra, and he was just telling the report, and he was saying that. He say, look how many times we curse, we say bad words, to Saddam, and he was in the middle of the people, the office, government office, and he say, God have mercy Saddam's souls, because he was better than those Saddamis. That mean before was one Saddam, but now how many Saddam we have? Okay. I'm sorry actually just to mention, the name of people like Saddam or the others, because those people that pass away. But I'm telling you, we are talking about the situation, not about people. But look how they affect people. They were putting pressure on Saddam, but actually it was not like that.
Because there was a lot more tribal groups that were trying to get influence, and you've got the Kurds who are expanding into areas which are not traditionally Kurdish, and it's redrawing the map in Iraq in a sense, with a whole lot of leaders who are like, now's my chance, of course, maybe with the best intentions to help their tribe or particular group, but still.
Again, to let people feel safe and secure, you can bring troops, maybe you can bring dogs, maybe you can bring secure, but people there not feel safe. Iraq, if you want to Iraq to stand again, we have to think about long term. It is not actually some magic, to bring this leader now or to bring Saddam again. This is not going to work. We have to put a plan for long term. What is the plan for long term? 1. Change the constitution of Iraq. That one is based on Sharia. And this is actually, it's not work. Even for a human being, it's not work, that one. Second, we have to build again our kids and provide much we can education. When I talk to our kids, not to people like me, it's wasting time. I'm not going to change. If you're going to change maybe one of my behavior, maybe I need 5 years. And those 5 years, you can take care about million kids in Iraq. So we are always think about next step. In my country, they are just thinking about what is they are going to do in the couple 6 hours and couple next hour, What's going to happen after 6 hours? This is the only thing. No one actually talking about plan, what to plan for future. No one. That's when you'll find that a lot of conflict inside the family itself, because who actually want to study, the another they are telling him what for you are study, what for? Even the Christian, even the Yazidis, for example, now the Christian, all knowing that Christian, they are always educated, doctors, pharmacies, as you mentioned. But the Christian, even now, they are not actually not clever like before. Why? Because when he's going to study, many people telling him, why you are study? Sooner or later you are leaving Iraq. So don't, bothering yourself here. Go study outside. This is bad. It's really wrong. In any case, change the constitution. Much we can open schools, not jail for bad people. Let's open schools, I think, and much we can. If we can help Iraq Christian to stand there, help Yazidis to stand there, that will be fine. If not, let's help them actually and save them. And don't send actually another extra groups, extra troops of people and military. We are just going to blow up again the situation there.
Because there's a certain window of if stability is returned, there's a chance that people who left for safety in other countries might return. But if it carries on for too long, it gets into second generation, third generation in the country, and that's not going to happen, is it?
I believe the first and second, they are not going to think even to come back at all. But if we put a plan for future, during the war we need soldier, but during the peace we don't need soldier. We need educated people. So those they are fighting now, much they can, they want to keep Iraq during the war because they don't need a professor or doctors. They need just soldier. Soldiers, that mean weapons. Weapons, that mean income. Income, that mean business. Okay? Much we have business in Iraq, that they are really income to many countries. So, if we are going to change this for future, not next future, for future, maybe the third generation, looking forward to go back. If we look just, for example, to the Jewish, if you meet the Jewish from Iraq, they are always looking forward to go back. Even the third generation, they have no idea. They're born in Israel, but they are, they receive the same emotion, from the parents, from the first generation, and they are just looking forward to that one day they are going back to Iraq. Again, when I say that, we are proud, we are Iraqi, and we are in love with our country.
And there is hope.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much, Father, for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.